But all time, this record and the
It's
videos,
an incredible record.
The image that you guys put with that, and the band that was decorated.
Yeah, and we still do a lot of respect for each other, as musicians and veterans of certain situations, that we've been in. So we felt really blessed to be together and support each other and really enjoy our company. And on top of that, badass musicians, all
badass
of them,
musicians.
So,
Vivian and Adrian, Aldridge,
and Tommy, I play with him all, obviously in Aussie, and actually we have been playing together. How Tommy and I basically were kind of like
you guys were tight. You guys came
because right after Quiet Riot with me in 1985, Tommy and we continued working together. And we spend
That's
like
a lot
2
of trust.
years.
It's a lot of trust, and exactly that.
A lot of trust,
knowing exactly where you're going to go.
And
from
affection.
There.
Yeah. So we came in as a rhythm section unit. Now a side note: Tommy and I were asked to join Whitesnake in '85. But since Whitesnake, and I had this insight at some.
Did you know who else was who in Whitesnake at that time, or did they just say, "Here's what's going on"? Was Vivian and Adrian? I didn't think so.
No.
So yeah, because
it was just what was okay. Whitesnake opened up for Quiet Riot in 1984. That's with Sykes, Neil Murray, and Cozy.
Okay. He wasn't so okay. So
no, Cozy was not in the '87 record. That was Ainsley, right? So it took about 2 years, and things, by 2 years later, when the '87 record was ready to be released, the only person left member was David.
But
in 1985, from the '84 formation, the only musician left besides David was John Sykes. And I was aware because I was on tour, with Whitesnake and Quiet Riot. I was aware as some of the conflict going on in the band.
Wasn't long after that he did was it Blue Murder?
Yes,
he started his own band.
He started his own band. And so when I was asked to join Whitesnake in '85, it was like, I don't know. I already left a situation. I don't think I'm ready to enter into another situation that might be volatile because I know what's going on.
Right.
So
and you don't want to put ruffles on anybody's head.
So that's the reason why I didn't play, and for a similar reason, Tommy didn't join the band at the time. So that's why we're not on the record. But then again, if we would have been on the record, we might not have been on the tour.
Exactly that. So it turned out perfect for everybody because exactly this is how I feel. And other than your earlier things like that, but then this came to you just in a different, like you said, it's like changing your style for a certain song or band. Then you fell into this, and you became the Sarzo that we all come to know and love. Other than the early musicians that the Quiet Riot, so much respect. But this whole style that you had, you dye your hair, and all these moves come out of nowhere, and so
you know what, moves do come out of nowhere because I look back at the way that I moved with Ozzy, different from Quiet Riot and different from Whitesnake. The music should dictate how you move.
You could be made the basic that becomes part of you, right? And the song, sometimes I'll play with the pick or something, but don't feeling the move the way I want to. Just like, even the songs that we have, I choose in the studio what I'm going to do. And Jay Rustin will go, okay, use this or don't use that. But even that's where they pick too. You want to chunk your tone, but making the bass you is such a fun part being a musician because you can just not be good at your craft, but at the same time giving a visual that you just feel, and then some people get it and some people don't, and obviously that's one thing that drew me, to be a big fan of yours is because you do both, and that's one of those things that I was always respected. Watching you just go, such a great player, but you make that instrument yours and you convince people of that, and it's so fun to watch.
Well, thank you, but you definitely have those qualities too. Otherwise, listen. If all you guys did not, the band would not be as huge as you guys are.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The fans would see right through it. As a matter of fact, you won't have any fans.
No, dude, you can't trick anybody out there. You really, and especially you're out there on Front Street. I got those three other brothers out there. We all trust each other, as you know. When you're up there, it's such a gift to be able to do what we do and be able to play music and make money doing it. And again, having that instrument that, of course, there's practice and there's great session players and there's studio players. But again, watching you live and being able to do that is a whole other part of what music was back in the day. And that I think, fortunately enough, we know Satchel and Michael to move around like we do instead of just standing there with a mic in front of you was a whole other part of music that was so great about the 80s.
You just reminded me something because, no matter whatever conflict I had with any band members of any of my previous bands, because, families, it's a family.
It is, no matter
and there's going to be conflict in families.
Of course there is.
And the older you get, the better you know how to handle the conflict rather than, like if you're a kid in a schoolyard, you're going to handle a conflict very different than you will be when you're mature.
Exactly that. And you also know, and I don't mean to cut you off, with that, you know what the consequences are. Of course, you become more mature in every situation, but you also know what you have when you have it. You realize what you had, and you become more mature about what to handle that situation.
Absolutely.
So you don't. Yeah, and I think that is something that that you learn.
But getting back to what you guys have, Steel Panther, you have incredible chemistry.
Yeah, thank you.
Chemistry that sometimes is missing from bands. Let's say today.
Well, I didn't go to school, but I know that Michael has taken chemistry. Satchel took chemistry. I was good at art class. That's basically it. We have chemistry, but yeah.
I was really good at home economics.
Were you really?
And typing. The reason why,
really typing?
Yeah, typing. There were two guys in typing class, and this is
right.
Okay, and this is I did not foresee being the internet, like having a laptop and using this. It was all girls.
All girls. I mean, there was
all girls.
Just, yeah,
that was it. That was.
Which is kind of kick ass. I mean, now I would go into typing for sure.
Yeah.
If I was your odds are with one other dude, you're going to score.
Yeah, but if you want to spend most of your day in school surrounded by ladies, take typing.
Smart one. Damn it.
But anyway,
again. Your brain works different than mine.
It was a desperate move.
Your brain works different than mine, Rudy.
But getting back to the subject of chemistry, there's a few bands out there that they're still doing it, but somehow they lost that sense of trust in each other. We love doing this, and man, we are brothers.
That's exactly
or
that.
sisters, brothers and sisters.
Brothers. Yeah. Well, in our case, they're brothers, and they consider me a sister. Yeah. At the same time, you're so right, and to be able to be, with those guys, because at this time with you, there was so much shit going on because people coming and going, and now we're the only band that's kind of like this. We have this connection of what we were, given from that time of that era. There's not many people coming in that look like us that want to take that job over from me, thank God. Or else there will be more content. But at that time, you had so much shit going on with all this stuff and every band, and how many bands were on the strip, and there was other musicians floating around all the time that could take anybody's job at any time. And again, like you said, the older you get, you respect the situation you're in and thankful for it. And I'm thankful for the fact that I've got three guys that think like me. Well, they think more than I do, but they're very smart and again, bringing back a time that we hope the kids can appreciate, and kids, everybody. But
you guys are the perfect band at the perfect time, and I'm saying this because if we go back to the late 70s, which a lot of the bands that became popular in the 80s were actually around in the late 70s. We just had that big speed bump of new wave and punk that came in. And
that's exactly right. You have more to deal with. I mean, even today, we don't have much to deal with because we're only one of a kind.
Yes.
But it's like there was a lot going on the 70s to going into the early 80s, Yeah,
exactly. And of course, in the early 80s, in 1981, I left L.A., I joined Ozzy, but I was still very much in contact with what was going on locally. with Kevin and his band Dubrow, and Frankie Banali was beginning to play with him, and there was a lot of struggle going on. There was only one record deal in town, and Quiet Riot got it because Kevin could sing "Come On Feel the Noise." That was it. That was it. Now, meanwhile, I was aware of what was going on with metal because, I was not only on tour with Ozzy, but the future of metal were on tour with us. Like Def Leppard, and we got to tour with Motorhead.
It was the future of metal at that time.
Yeah.
It really was coming into
the new wave
top,
of metal. Yeah. But the local Los Angeles record industry didn't
at the time.
Didn't
pick up on it. Yeah,
didn't pick up on it. At all. So it was there was this competition, or let's put it this way: local bands in LA on the Strip were becoming desperate.
Exactly right.
Desperate. Nobody trusted anybody. It was desperation. It was like dog eat dog. Because how are we going to keep doing this? How are we going to sustain
every band was
it?
like its own little gang, and you couldn't spit on somebody else's turf,
Yes.
or you couldn't put at that time they were stapling.
Yes, and I am aware, because of stories that I heard, that bands are sabotaging each other at gigs.
Right, or Rudy. Remember the day where they would take literally there's 50,000 flyers.
Yeah.
On a pole, and they would just rip off somebody else's flyer, just staple their own flyers on it. Somebody saw you do that, it was like West Side Story.
I know. So what happens now, and this is what is really amazing about what you guys are experiencing, that a lot of those bands are actually big bands now. Bands that got their own record deal, and they're famous, and you guys are touring with them.
Yeah.
But they're embracing you.
Yeah,
isn't that wonderful?
It's wonderful.
Because
Rudy,
they know
again,
you guys are the real deal.
Well,
you're not
is,
faking
like I said,
it. It's not make believe.
Right, and it is. It blows our mind that we have the respect for most musicians that come from that we respect, and that's what only thing we're doing is trying to bring what we grew up on to life now, and we're adding our own personal thing to it, which could be controversial, like we started this conversation with the Pussy Melter and things like that. But this is just who we are, and it's just what we're about. And again, to have the respect again, with you, it's just an honor to be here and to chat with you and talk about how you did this and what an influence you are for me to help be able to do this for myself. And
one of the reasons this is so important to me to be sitting here with you is to actually be able to thank you and thank Steel Panther for everything you've done to remind us of how much fun and how cool it was to do what we did.
And that is the biggest compliment. And again, I'm sorry this couldn't be a little more entertaining. I feel like this is such a big deal, and I can't thank you because I wouldn't be here without you. So I can't even we can still be doing what we do without you guys. Well, good. So that's again, it's a big deal, and I can't thank you enough for just picking my brain for a bit. But I feel like I just interviewed you.
No, this is a conversation.
I know, but I just love hearing it.
Yeah,
that's all.
Great. So what's next? I mean, what's your short-term plan?
Right now, we're going to do for the next 6 months is we're going to do exactly what I said. We're going to, the festival run is over for us right now. We're going to start recording again in November, and then we're going to and continue to do what I was just telling you before, which is very important. It just pays respect to you and everybody that we respect, and the late 70s, 80s genre, of all the more pretty boy bands and things like that, but metal altogether. Well, I guess it's all just that era, that 10 years, and Live from the Sunset Strip, and it's Steel Panther, and it's a combination of us and our original songs and paying respect.
So this will be a residency?
It won't be. It really won't be. Again, there's not much around here in LA anymore. The place to do it. The Roxy is tough, and especially since we don't have the residency like we had before, it doesn't work the same way it did. So we're going to bounce around everywhere and do this show for the next 6 months and get ready for a tour with this next record.
How about Vegas?
We'll do Vegas every once in a while. Yeah. Well, we just got done doing a few weeks there, but then at times, we're going to be gone for the weekend, so we don't really have a residency like we used to have before. Hopefully, but every once in a while, you'll catch us at the House of Blues The best thing to go to is our site and just check out our dates.
What's your site?
StillPantherRocks.com. Yeah, StillPantherRocks.com.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of different sites. There's our Wikipedia or our MySpace page. No, we got rid of our MySpace page a while ago, I think. But yeah, that'd be the best way to just check out our tour dates and see where